Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another top-level Marvel Rivals cast. I am once again your caster, Tetcher. Reminder that we are only 44 subs away from our sub goal, where we will be starting to live stream. I say we, it's just me. Where I will be starting to live stream, and hopefully you will join me to make it a we, sending in replays and joining me on the live streams when I do MRC and do some viewer replays, maybe some shows where I give you. I don't know if any of y'all back in the day watched Day 9, but Fun Day Monday was one of my absolute favourite things. So maybe we do like a challenge day every like 2 weeks or so, or 1 week, where I give the audience a challenge, you send in your replay IDs, and I cover the best ones and see what we can come up with, do a little show about it, tell some stories, etc. I've been in the esports scene for a while, because at the time of me recording this, it's the 23rd, and my YouTube channel, I got an alert saying it's 15 years old. I am 31. I've apparently been doing like content on YouTube for almost exactly half my lifetime now. That's pretty awesome. Good to know. But today, for starters, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Help with the algorithm. Share with your friends. Just do stuff to help me with the algorithm, because changing away from the MRC content when the replays got wiped, it's been a little difficult, but the amount of support I've got has been absolutely heartwarming. I hope you are all enjoying, and I hope you'll all continue to support as I go between these top-level games. Some shows I'm creating. I'm partway through making a Marvel Rivals quiz. I did upload it back in Pokemon and Heroes of the Storms, so I want to do one for Marvel Rivals, because it's really fun. I need some creators to invite to that. I know at least a couple. I know one probably won't say yes, but I'm going to ask, because I like their content. But help with the algorithm, help me build up this channel so that I can just keep bringing you the content that I love making. So, for today's game, I have found a top-level game as usual. This is a European showdown. We got players from Schmungus. We got players from Zero Tenacity. We got players from Virtus.Pro. We got players from 0% in form of Fnatic. We got players from, I'm going to pronounce this one wrong, Qadsiah, I think is how it's pronounced, the Saudi football team, who have picked up a load of players for a Rivals roster. So we've got a EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa powerhouse of a roster right now, of a lobby. So let's jump on in and check that out. We are once again heading to Yggdrasil Path. A lot of our top games seem to be coming in on there, but we got lots of options. While the players begin their bans, big shout out to our members who help support the channel. You can all help support the channel by doing the things I said earlier, and also watching without ad block on or with YouTube Premium, as most of the income I get from this, I do it for fun, but income helps me afford groceries. Most of the income I get is from ads, but the members mean I don't have to worry about fluctuating ad rates or fluctuating view counts. They are helping keep me stable. So big shout out to Puff Mendili, Roshula, Doki Pokey, and our longest running member, John. Big shout outs to them. You can also become a member by hitting that join button and joining the channel to help support me. We're going to start off with Groot and Bruce Banner being banned out. Now, the Bruce, of course, combo with the Nemor, the fact that they are very sustaining, especially on a map like this, where there's a lot of fighting over that central gate, where the Hulk really does capitalize very effectively here. Ooh, a misban from the blue team. No one banning anything here, but the Human Torch will get taken out from the red team. Very interesting to see. Lots of options here. We're going to be going in. There's no Adam Warlock, although Star-Lord is still being hovered. Iron Fist massively jumping up in terms of priority. The Hulk also giving a little bit of a bonus to that Iron Man, who is very gently, like, it's being like people are testing it. It's creeping into the play rate again. It's a slow and steady creep, but the fact is it does exist. With the amount of dive characters that are being played right now, the Spider-Mans, the Iron Fist, stuff like that, we're seeing a little bit of a jump onto more flyers, as Hela and Psylocke, ironically being hovered there, seem to have dropped out of priority a little bit, although they're still absolutely played in almost every game. It's just that we also see a little bit of flex onto some of these dive characters. So perhaps flyers, even though they can get dived, they might feel a little safer, or just the ability to try and siege the backline to not worry about it. Either way, Let's have a look at our teams. We got Aimhard on the Invisible Woman. Nevix will be playing the Captain America. Helis is on the Iron Fist. Malouki is going to be playing that Lunar Snow. Finnsi on Emma Frost. And Meliø is going to be playing the Psylocke. And on the other side, Ducky1 playing the Magneto. Knuten is on that Star-Lord. Smafer, we're going to go with Smafer. Going to be playing that Rocket Raccoon. Rigsychu will be playing the Psylocke. Bogor is on the Emma Frost. And Wyni will be playing the Loki. Already hyper-aggressive Nevix getting locked down. The power of Emma Frost, that diamond form. Captain America's biggest weakness is getting CC'd, stop them being mobile. So being able to get rid of that, very effective here. Forced to back away a little bit, but is still pressuring into the backline. Trying to get a little bit of dive going. Same with Helis here, who goes in deep, finds the BRB, but is a little outnumbered here, getting chased down. And as such, blue team beginning to back away, a little bit outnumbered here. Knuten finding on the backline with the Blaster Mirage, but the Sea and the Fate of both worlds dropped on either side to try and shut this down. Here comes the Psionic Seduction from Bogor to try and lock him down. Great job there, setting that up fantastically for Knuten, who will pick up the double. Meliø is able to get Smafer. Wyni with the Fate of both worlds, though, will shut down any additional counter engages. Getting dove by the double on the Psylocke here. Meliø utilizing that clone, but isn't able to get a finishing blow, and Knuten picks up yet another elimination. Knuten on fire this round. In their Hellfire Gala best as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Playing up to the high ground, they're trying to just keep control over the map right now. While Nevix tries to dive, Knuten is the one who is being the main damage dealer. They are the one who is trying to pick up the isolated members and capitalize on their team's engages, allowing Riggs to make their way around the side, flank, find angles, and dive the backline like this. That's going to be an invisible boundary, but that is an ult for ult trade. Here comes Ducky with the Media M, finds aimhard. Helios goes down, taking off that Wolverine that they swapped to, as Nevix is very outnumbered here. Will find Knuten, though, with the shield toss. Very outnumbered, but is still just playing mobile, trying to keep this going, getting locked down by the Emma Frost. Retreats and is able to get away, healed back up to full, and re-engaging. Semble coming out. Freedom charge at the ready for the chase, able to take out Bogor. Looking onto Ducky, the front line is melted here, diving deep, finding the back line. Loki teleports away. Wyni already escaping, but they've all been driven back to the choke point here. Red team forced to back up and regroup, but the Galactic Legend is at the ready. Ducky on the thing now, 53% of the way towards that smash. Here comes the incredible engage. Meliø picks up the double. Helis setting that up. They went down for it, but they capitalized and got their team the triple elimination. 1 for 3, absolutely viable there. And that's going to allow Helis to swap off. They use the final stand. They now move off Wolverine and move on to the Winter Soldier. Team up with Cap. We'll have to see if that comes into play here. Making their way back in. Stars of the Butterfly into the backline. Here comes Nevix to absorb some of the hits here. Try and help tank for their team. Pushing on in. Waiting till they're healed up so they can make their way back in for the rest of their team. Sia's going to come out. This will likely cause the retreat out of the members of blue team, as Knuten in the sky is doing huge damage output, but the Fate of both worlds seems to be shutting this down. But is there enough follow-up as clobbering time comes out with the Psionic Seduction? It's going to be an absolutely devastating engage as Bogor and Ducky set that up beautifully. Diamond form. They take out Finnsi. Cap gets caught mid-air with the choke slam. I just came back from WrestleMania 2 days ago. Not actually going live. I can't afford that. Are you kidding me? Watching it around some friends' houses in Manchester. But that is absolutely the kind of thing we love to see. A mid-air catch into a slam. Diamond form to try and hold the choke point, to lock him down once again. Keep Cap off the point, but the point will be held with 2 minutes to go. Heeless, Kraken Impact, looking for a reset, finds nothing. Not landed the hook. Getting good damage though onto the thing. That's a big old hitbox for Finnsi, who tried to arrive on the on the Doctor Strange there. Will get taken out. Nevix falls. Aimhard cannot engage in there. I forgot how to talk there for a moment. So much was happening. Going to teleport back to the other spawn. Heeless back onto the Iron Fist. To try and burn through this front line. Bogor's been playing beautifully here. Up on this front line. My Aegis will drop. Nevix backing away. Ducky also retreating behind Bogor here. Qadsiah on the board, allowing Knuten to play up if they want to, but they're going to wait out that invisible boundary. Trying to just keep a little bit of pressure on. They don't have the full vision. Qadsiah in invisible boundary, traded out. Knuten deep in the backline, trying to get one pickup, but that's going to be a complete shutdown with the help of that regeneration donate from Wyni, who will go down, comes back at the BRB. No! Interrupted, I think. No, they did make it, but ever so barely. But that's going to be red team. Absolutely destroyed here. Blue team getting the counter engage. Even though they protected themselves from that initial point. Finds a Loki clone. Going to take that out. Up on the high ground. Was likely spotted as they rotated there. Was in fact spotted. Taking a little bit of damage, forced to back away. Dragon kick to disengage. Here comes the cheaper Town Hall in for the living weapon. Trying to get onto Star-Lord, but Star-Lord coming in with that Galactic Legend. Trying to chase down Meliø. Gets caught with the crystal form. As Knuten is burning through. Clobbering time. A mid-air snipe. Knuten will fall. Malouki with the fade of both worlds. Keeping the team up as the dance. The butterfly's going to come into the backline. Malouki going to be taken down. Heeless pulled in with the Psionic Seduction, but holds the line. They stay sustained. He will finally get picked off as Riggs is on the sideline, getting the pickup and is melting through the remaining defenders, trying to get onto Nevix, chasing them back here. Will pull back to the defensive position to hold their point to keep that cart moving. Nevix taking a lot of damage, but the healing is here. Here comes the Qadsiah. Wants there to match in exchange. Aimhard goes down, so no invisible boundary. Heeless has fallen, and blue team's defense is starting to evaporate. Who's left on the point? Nevix tries to step up. The cart's moving forward. It's up to Finnsi to try and delay, to try and hold. They are melting. Diamond form to buy a little bit of time for the boundary to come out, which will keep them up for the time being. Riggsy dodges the butterfly, finds nothing. It's Aimhard arrives back in just the nick of time to try and save. Doesn't the butterfly from Meliø into the backline to try and melt through, but can't find a pickup. Finnsi with the Psionic Seduction to try and lock him down, to try and hold, but they can't break through. Neither team is falling. Here comes the Galactic Legend. Knuten shooting through that Fate of Both Worlds, finds Meliø on the flank. One finally falls, but that Fate of Both Worlds is too strong. Clobbering time comes out. Blaster Mirage onto he's caught midair. Finnsi takes them into the CC, but gets knocked down themselves. Nevix is falling, locked down by the Psionic Seduction of Bogor, as red team will get the triple. Spectacular first round. How do we adjust? Knuten on that Star-Lord, getting caught multiple times by Finnsi or Nevix, whoever at the time was playing that Emma Frost, but it still kept them getting locked down. Heeless, realizing that Star-Lord may be a problem, is looking to potentially hover on that Namor. Will Nevix or Finnsi be willing to potentially adjust it? and bring out the Incredible Hulk to give Helis that team up so they can try and capitalize on it more. They also have aimhard. Currently hovering on the Hella here. And yeah, looks like they did not give him the they did not give Helis the Incredible Hulk, so Helis is going to be bringing out the magic, trusting aimhard to take care of Knuten. On the other side, the exact same composition here. Red team wise change what is not broken.
Battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here they come.
Vehicle to its destination.
Right away, almost a triple hit. Onto Riggy's, dropping him low. The chase in is aggressive. You can see on the flank, though, there are a couple flanking members. Both the damage dealers, in fact, are off on the side here. Riggy's forced a double dash to get out of danger. Knuten might be facing a similar fate here. Dropped low. Will get healed up, though. Make their way up to the high ground. Nice pickup onto aimhard. Blaster barrage without a magneto shield. A little bit risky, but is able to dash away without getting picked off here. Pushing on in. Helis on the magic. A very risky pick here. Getting some good damage so far. Wrapping onto the backline. Magic, one of the few characters who could really do some good work to the thing as a backline diver. Trying to keep them locked down. You can see the thing coming in there. Trying to lock him down, trying to prevent any of those dashes. Pushing on in, into the invisible boundary to lock on through, taking out the seer, removing that extra sustain as Finnsi with the psionic seduction. Tries to find someone, will not get it, falls into the diamond form. Fate of both worlds as well, means they will sustain through this clone coming out from Wyni for their own Fate of both worlds here. Stealing it away from Malouki. Pushing on in. Fate of both worlds aligned up to push all the way back to the spawn here. Nicely done. That's going to be a hold by red team. 2 minutes to go. Nevix has clobbering time. Helis almost has Dark Child. Aimhard 79% of the way towards Goddess of Death. Nevix is using those little extra 50 health shields to poke in and out around the wall. Little bit of poke coming in here. Into the back line goes Helios as here comes the Galactic Legend to absolutely melt them. Knuten chasing deep, trying to get onto Nevix. Mind's Aegis to block a Blaster Mirage coming in once again. Clobbering time comes out from Nevix as aimhard takes to the sky. The Mind's Aegis dropped facing upwards there to block the shots a little bit. Aimhard is taken down and Dance of the Butterfly comes out, but taken down. Helis back onto that Iron Fist. Get a little bit of overhealth. Creeping around to the side, their team not exactly in position. Nevix bringing out the Magneto here to try and help them push on in. Team up with Emma Frost, full commitment here. Knuten still mostly uncontested though. Here's good damage. Aimhard took out Wyni. No BRB to bring him back. Seer comes out. Charge comes in. Aimhard goes down by Riggy's. Ducky taking out Finnsi, and red team are once again driving back blue team, keeping control. Nevix forced to retreat, getting focused down here. Knuten backing up here. Nevix taking a little bit of damage. Bogor making their way up on the defense from behind the flank with the psionic seduction. Got so many people there. Here comes the counter from Finnsi though to try and lock him down. Gets the pickup onto Knuten. Bogor dropping low. Riggs locked down, but here comes the attack from Ducky to try and help with this defense. Bogor dropped down, taken down as Finnsi is keeping this line. Let's try to push on in, does the butterfly from Rigsychu. Takes out Nevix, takes out Helios. This defense is starting to look pretty effective as red team, the overtime is ticking down. Blue team need to touch the point. Finnsi falls. BRB to bring them back. Meliø trying to reach the point. aimhard trying to reach the point. No one can touch it in time. And that's going to be a 3-0 in favor of red team. Nicely done, MVP. Rigsychu. On that Psylocke. Getting MVP. 40 eliminations. 23 of which were final hits. Beating out everyone in final hits. Most eliminations, though, does go over to Knuten with 41, and that's not too surprising. They were the person spreading out the damage here. Least amount of times getting eliminated. Smafer only getting taken out 3 times. Good positioning. Classic rocket numbers. Only doing 1200 damage. 36k healing though. Most on their team. And second highest in the game. Most in the game though. Malouki. 51k healing. Good heavens. That is almost Wyni and Smafer put together. Smafer beating them by about 9k there if they add themselves together. An entire Meliø difference. Meliø was not on support for the entirety of that game though. As you can see, that's a very impressive 12k damage rocket. 1200 to 12k. Top damage done. 2 players with 28k might normally be enough, but the 31k from Rigsychu. I keep saying Rigsychu, but it's Rigsychu. 31k topping out the DPS numbers, 3k more than basically anyone else in the game. Keeping that up. Top damage blocked by 1k. It is going to be Ducky. 45k damage blocked. Tanking with the thing beautifully here. We've already talked about our healing numbers. Very impressive. A fun matchup here. But again, Knuten seemingly mostly untouched here. Bogor even swapping to the Doctor Strange at the end to make sure they could touch the point just in case. Bogor and Finnsi both battling for dominance on those Emma Frosts here. It did end up with 24k damage for Bogor, 28k for Finnsi, so Finnsi did come out a little bit ahead, but Bogor with 7 final hits compared to Finnsi's 3. It was quite a KD difference in this game. What a fun matchup. It really did come down to the fact that the supportive ultimates we did see, we love the Loki. The Loki was so strong, but it felt like they just did not have they were able to get in too many clones onto their opponent's Fate of Both Worlds. Like, the amount of times Wyni just stole Malukis, and that's the value here that you do see sometimes with these Loki players, where you don't have to pick Loki in conjunction with your own strategist if you know your opponent's going to play something. It's so risky to play it that way, but the fact is it does work, and we saw them get so many clones. It did work out. They were able to find Malouki basically every time in that fight. And there's the question of how do you deal with that? You really can't. You have to play either far enough back that there's no way Wyni can get to you, in which case they've got a perfectly good seer right there that will still work out quite nicely. Or do you play like a worse support who has like a less defensive ultimate, and then your team doesn't have one? Do you play Loki yourself? It's a difficult situation. In this case, Wyni was able to take their team through to a victory there. The Rocket Loki combo, something that would be widely looked at as trolling last season. This season is starting to creep more and more into the meta. Star-Lord, though, even without Adam Warlock, as usual, every single season, everyone looks at Star-Lord and is like, is it still happening this season? And the answer is always yes. He's still good, he's still solid, he still does the job, he's hypermobile, has invulnerability frames, has a great ultimate to burst through enemies. just a solid character all around. Same with Psylocke. These two will probably, unless they get serious damage nerfs, be constantly in the meta for like the rest of the game's future and history. We'll have to see though. We'll have to see if it does get touched. Alright, well, I hope you've all enjoyed today's game, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you can see when tomorrow's game goes live. It's always at 6 PM UK time, unless something goes wrong. A reminder that from the 1st of May, I will be away. So if you become a member before that by hitting that join button, then you will get... I'm away from the 1st until the 4th, and I'll probably be taking a day to recover, so you'll be getting 5 to 6 videos early. Like, they'll all be uploaded as member first and scheduled for their normal release day. So if you want to get some value out of your membership, then become a member around that time, or so that you cover that time. You'll get a huge amount of extra value for money on that week alone. So, for now though, I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitch and Blue Sky and all the other socials that are in the description below. I sometimes post things. Not often, but also you can follow the Twitch so that you know when we hit that 5,000 sub goal, so that you can support the stream when we go live. And remember, send in your replay IDs. I need stuff to cast when we hit that goal so that we can do some fun stuff. And suggest, if you like the idea of me doing like a Fun Day Monday, like a challenge kind of thing, let me know your ideas for challenges, like to take into Quick Match or something like that. Like, eat 6 people as Jeff, for example. It's going to be difficult, but it is fun. The get a Loki backstab kind of thing. And people have to try it and send in replays. And even if you don't succeed, if you've got fun games, send them in. If you like that idea, let me know if you do. And also send in some ideas for challenges that we can do if we get to that stage. For now, though, I have been Tetcher. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.